Okay, y'all. So I just really need to come on here and talk about this. And there's so many things that I want to speak on that I just haven't got around to making the video. So here it goes. I was working a seasonal job, and I've worked for this company before in 2023. And when I worked for them in 2023, we worked up to Christmas. Well, this year, last year, since we're in 2026, the assignment ended much sooner, like a couple weeks before Christmas. My last day was December 6th, and this was an overtime day. So before we all start the day, we had a meeting. This guy, big wig, I don't know his name or his position, but during this meeting, one of the things he said was, many of you will not be on the schedule. See you next season. So I was one of the ones that was not on the schedule. So as the weeks go by, I continue to get pay stubs sent to my email. So I'm like, wait a minute, like, why am I continuing to get emails of new payroll information when I'm no longer working there? So I don't pay it no mind. So, oh well, next thing you know, I get this letter saying why I haven't been reporting to work. Like as if I was still employed with them. But it said that I had not been to work for at least 4 weeks, and they had no record of me being on an approval leave of absence. And I thought that was funny. Like, you got to be kidding me. Because I don't know if this is something they do every year. Because when I worked for them once before, they sent out a letter. And I called in and she said, oh, just to disregard it. And they still didn't have any work available. But that time in 2023, they were not still sending me payroll information to my email. But this time they were sending pay stubs, just like as if I was still working for them. So I don't know if this has to do with my lawsuit against my former employer, IKEA. I don't know, but something just doesn't seem right. Um, you know, with this and this warehouse, they hire a slew of people, and I mean a lot of people. I mean, they hire more people than needed, because we would be, like standing around, like waiting for work, because there was nothing coming up on the bells, and people would be using their phones, and they were, saying, management would say during meetings that, oh, there's plenty of work. We don't want to see people standing around, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't have any work. It's almost like they set this stage for them to have a reason to send you home. And the bottom line, a lot of the times, they did not have work. So, one day, one of the workers, one of their full-time employees, she comes up to me while I'm in the aisle working, and she says, they're offering VTO, which is voluntary time off. So I said, okay. I said, I'm going to stay. So I would say maybe an hour or two later, or less, she comes to me again and says, they're still offering VTO. So I said, okay. I said, do they want me to go home? So she says, oh, no, it's up to you. I said, okay, well, then I'm going to stay. It was about a 45-minute drive for me to get there. So it didn't make sense to drive there, work a few hours, and then go home. I just don't understand why this company hires so many people, and then it's as if they don't need them. So I'm thinking they must benefit somehow. Maybe a tax credit or something. It's the reason why they hire so many people, because it just doesn't make sense. And they seem to do it every year. Well, I can't say every year, but the 2 years that, year 2023 and 25, when I've worked for them, it seems to be the same thing. And you would think they would know the demand of the number of people they would need to fill the Christmas workload. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I also wanted to show, as you can see here, like I said, my last day that I had worked was on the 6th. And like he said, if you're not on the schedule, you're done. See you next season. So I was not scheduled. So I was taken off the schedule. For some reason, they're trying to make it seem like as if I was still working for them when they took me off the schedule. So that's that. But there is another warehouse that I want to talk about. So but I'm going to cut this one short here for now. So make sure you come back to view my other videos.